back to Been There, Watch That. Took a week off, and now we're back to review the 1968 film Bullitt. Anybody seen this one before?
No.
I had not.
Everybody out there, this one came from our fan pick list, which we all do our picks, and then we throw in a fan pick. That's part of our rotation, and we do a random number generator, and that just goes through the Excel spreadsheet and picks one, and we went through. This one came up as one that was on HBO Max, so we were all able to watch it. Follow us on BeenThereWatchThat.com. Go there, check out all our previous reviews. We go from a burnt popcorn all the way up to a mop bucket popcorn rating, the hallowed mop bucket. And also Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, BTWT Pod. Check us out on there. Send in any recommendations. We'll try to check them out.
And it's been a while since we've thrown any mop buckets around.
Yeah. Well, I only get to pick every 4 times. So.
Well, Justin gave Die Hard a small.
Yeah. A small that somebody eaten some of the popcorn out of.
So I'm scared, Justin. I had so much faith in you and your picks, and you gave Die Hard a small. I'm afraid of how you're going to rate your next pick, because your next round is your round. So yeah. I'm afraid to see what's going to happen, because I put my stake in on how you gauge, because I found that you and I have a lot of similarities on our ratings, and I'm scared now.
Episode 41, if you guys want to hear me say everything that's terrible about Die Hard.
There's always that. Man, all right. We're moving right along with this. So this is an interesting one, because we haven't went back to like a retro, what I'll call a retro movie, for a while.
Yes.
I mean, we went all the way back when Justin's one picked The General. Was that right?
Yes.
And then to 1926. And now we're back to 1968. I'm a big fan of 80s movies. You two are all over the place, and the fan pick is all over the place. But
yeah, a lot of 80s movies on our list.
Yeah.
This is our first one from the 60s.
Yeah.
This is our first.
Well, yeah, it's true. Yep.
Yeah, because we did.
You chose Mad Max, but that's 70s.
Well, in Ocean's 11, we just did the remake. We didn't do the original. So.
Right. Okay, 1968 is an interesting deal. You want to do out the roll call, Joe?
Yeah, so let's do a quick preview and a roll call. So, the San Francisco Police Lieutenant Bullitt, I guess the movie we're talking about is Bullitt. Lieutenant Bullitt's tasked by ambitious Walter Chalmers to guard Johnny Ross, a Chicago mobster who's about to turn evidence against the organization. Chalmers wants Ross's safety at all cost, or else Bullitt will pay the consequences. So the movie stars Steve McQueen as Bullitt. He's known for The Great Escape and The Getaway. Robert Vaughn plays Chalmers, and he's known for Superman 3. Robert Duvall is a repeat offender on our podcast. He plays Weisberg, and that was a young Robert Duvall. I didn't even catch that. He's known for Thank You for Smoking, which is in our archives, Secondhand Lines, Apocalypse Now, and The Godfather.
And Thunder, or Days of Thunder.
Really?
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Okay, I missed him. I completely missed him on this one, so.
I didn't see him either.
Simon Oakland plays Captain Bennett. He's known for West Side Story. Norman Fell plays Baker. He's known for Three's Company. George Stanford Brown plays Dr. Willard, and he's known for Stir Crazy, Roots, and Hill Street Blues. Felice Orlandi plays Rennick, and known for Another 48 Hours. And Vic Tabak plays Pete Ross, and he's known for Alice and All Dogs Go to Heaven. And that is your casting call.
So
interesting deal.
I know very little about McQueen. I mean, was he very famous at this time?
Yeah.
Because when the movie came out, I guess it was like quite a success at the box office. People.
Yeah, I mean, he had The Great Escape, and he was one of those guys that was kind of polarizing. Like, I know some about him because he rode motorcycles and was just kind of like an everyday kind of guy, but yet was a great actor. So, yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of his work. I've not seen a lot of his work, but I've heard his name thrown out a lot.
Yeah, I just think, kind of like the Frank Sinatra of the time, a guy that, I don't know. No, not Frank Sinatra.
Kind of like the Burt Reynolds of the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like the guy that everybody just likes. You know, does good work, honest guy that's nice to the everyday people. Didn't act all hoity-toity. You know.
Yeah.
I thought he carried the film pretty well as the leading man in this one.
Yeah, I think they did good. It's kind of crazy. You know, Robert Vaughn, I thought, did a good job. It was really, I don't know. It was interesting to go back to the 60s and see kind of how it played out. You know, their dress, the cars.
Yeah, just my dad and I watched it last night. I remarked to him that there'll be long stretches where it's just kind of ambient background noise, like
Yes.
cars and stuff, like no music or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a different vibe, the 60s movie.
It did have an explosion in it for Joe.
Yeah.
Yes. As soon as it happened, I was like, hey, yep. got my
Yes,
explosion.
just went up a notch on the ranking. I mean, who doesn't love a good car explosion and then showing the guys burning up in the car?
Yeah.
True.
Of course, Joe does.
Yeah, the car chase was 10 minutes and 53 seconds long.
It was long. I did notice it.
And they say that is the most popular car chase of all time. And I'm going,
Nah.
I'm thinking the O.J. Simpson one.
Yeah, gosh. I was thinking, what's Jason Bourne? You know what? I'm going to research it while we talk here.
Okay.
Famous car chase scenes.
Yeah,
But
so,
at the time, it was kind of like groundbreaking, I guess.
yeah, and they used 2 different Mustangs and 2 different Chargers to film all that. And Steve McQueen did a lot of the stunt work himself.
Yeah, he had a stunt driver, but then also did a fair amount of the stunt driving.
Which is crazy. I mean,
Actually, it's rated 4 out of 10 in the greatest car chase scenes. San Francisco.
what's number 1? Well, what's the top 3?
All right, so Man with the Golden Gun, The Driver, Smokey and the Bandit, Mad Max, The Burglar, 7 Ups. Oh, 7 Ups, really. The Ford versus Mustang, Gone in 60 Seconds, French Connection. Those are all
In the top 10?
Yeah. Let me go back on this other one here and see. Oh, it's going to do a video. What the heck. Huh. All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool, though. I mean,
Yeah, the Hollywood stunt driver
Still
was
videos, we
named
don't get
Bud Ekins, or Ekins. And to tell the difference between which one's driving, from the interior shots looking forward inside the Mustang, it's easy to see which one's driving. When McQueen was driving, the rearview mirror is down to reflecting his face. When Ekins is driving, the rearview mirror's up, so his face is hidden out of the reflection.
Okay.
all right. So, 31, The Italian Job. 30, Man with Golden Gun. Fast and the Furious, Fate of the Furious, Mission Impossible Fallout, Mad Max, 7 Ups. I don't know what 7 Ups is. Anyway, Drive, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. I never heard that one. The Driver, which is the old one, 1978. Baby Driver, 2017. Gone in 60 Seconds. The Bourne Supremacy. Matrix Reloaded. John Wick. You know, Night and Day. You guys remember the Night and Day movie with Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise? He gets thrown off a car, lands in a car.
I've heard it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah. Wanted. Angelina Jolie. Fast 5. Death Proof. The Duel. Fast and Furious. Hobbs and Shaw. Jeez. Mad Max. Fury Road. Smokey and the Bandit. Ranked 10th.
I could see that.
Yeah, a lot of jumping and stuff. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Vanishing Point. Rhythm Section, never heard that. That's 2020. Blake Lively in it. The Blues Brothers, 1980.
Now we're talking.
That was a good car scene. To Live and Die in L.A., 1985. Ronin, 1998. Bullitt, ranked 2nd.
That's crazy. So what beat Bullitt?
The French Connection, 1971.
Never heard of it.
It's got Gene Hackman in it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, wow.
So it says Bullitt revolutionized the car chase scene, then French Connection gave it a reality never seen before because they had a dashboard camera, handheld cameras, And Gene Hackman's ferocious acting.
So that's what the game changer was the camera angles.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Huh. Yep, it says the feel of being right in the car with the actor is what makes it so thrilling, and by the end you're as exhausted as he is in a great way. All right, car chase scenes. So this movie, famous for it, ranking number 2 of all the greatest car chase scenes. And, and I kind of, I agree with that. I mean, when he comes to a stop and he's looking and, trying to figure out how to chase the guy, and he has to reverse it, and you see the smoke on the tires, and, yeah, not bad. And no special effects. It's all done. For real.
Well, now,
I did notice it was 10 minutes, though.
well, now, there was some special effects that I'm hoping that those were just plastic dummies that was...
Oh, yeah. Well, I just meant, like, he squeals to a stop. Like, when the scene where Steve McQueen reverses because he missed the turn, that was actually his mistake, and they kept it.
Which is crazy, I mean...
Because you can see him in the window. He wanted to be in the window a lot and have his window down so you could tell it was him driving.
Yeah.
Now, there were a couple scenes where they had the stuntman driving, but...
Well, which is crazy to think. I mean, if I was an actor for like these car scenes, I would definitely want to do my own stunts.
It'd be fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think the movie studio would see it that way if you had a wreck.
They're looking at the liability standpoint.
Yeah, but it would be fun. I was thinking that too, Joe. You read my mind, kind of. I was thinking that when I watched the movie. I was like, man, it would be a blast to have a Mustang like that, a high-powered Mustang, and be zooming around the roads and jumping the jumps in San Francisco. Be like, heck yeah.
Well, I think Hollywood stunt people, one, don't get enough credit for the hard work they do, and two, have the coolest jobs on the planet.
That is
Let's think about it. What'd you do to work today? I had to sit some meeting, listen to some knothead run on for 45 minutes about nonsense. What'd you do today? I drove a car going 90 miles an hour and for all day long. Drove a beautiful classic Mustang and just did stunts all day long.
Yep, practice my drifting and yeah. Isn't that cool?
I jumped down an airplane and about 4 times, and then drove a car 90 miles an hour down the road.
So that's where we're starting this movie off, with the famous car scene. I like it. Yeah, good fan pick, I think. Better than some.
Yeah.
Yes.
Better than Justin's picks for sure. Sorry, Justin.
That's right.
Anyway, so yeah, good casting call. I mean, some of these guys never heard of, never seen again, but not bad.
Well, this was kind of an older generation movie too, so a lot of these we wouldn't have heard of. Well, I mean, other than Robert Duvall.
And what's funny? Heavy on the men.
Yes.
I noticed that. I mean, I know it's police force and all that, but even by the time you got to like the 80s and 90s movies that I love so much, there was a pretty good integration of women. Here, I want to say one woman's the only one I noticed.
Well, other than the nurses.
Ah, you're right. You know what? It did surprise me. 2 things surprised me. 1, there was a black doctor.
Yes.
And 2, the head staff person was a woman nurse.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, 1968, I kind of assumed that a male would be in charge of the hospital ward and that there wouldn't be a black doctor, just because of the prejudice.
Right. Yeah,
at the time.
The black doctor did kind of surprise me. The head nurse didn't really throw up any flags on my end.
It didn't on me, though. I was like, nah, the person in charge of everything going to be a man. Just because everybody else was male in that whole thing.
Well, I just took her as like the head nurse over that ward, that she would have that kind of authority. So that didn't really throw up any red flags on my end. I didn't give that a thought. Now, the black doctor did catch me off guard due to, like you said, with the age of it and all that.
Yeah. So they only had 2 Mustangs and 2 Dodge Chargers. And the Mustang was loaned out by a Ford Motor Company.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, look at how great publicity they've gotten off of that.
And the cars were modified by a high-speed chase by veteran auto racer Max Balchowski.
Wonder if any of them got damaged. Probably dinged up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Not returned in perfect condition to Ford. But then it's worth that much more because Steve McQueen drove it.
I was going to say,
I wonder if that got sold at some point.
Oh,
some crazy amount of money.
Let me look it up. Now you've intrigued me, sir.
I know that's happened before with celebrity cars or cars that were in movies.
Okay, according to Car and Driver, the iconic 1968 Ford Mustang GT that Steve McQueen drove in the film Bullitt sold for $3.4 million at auction.
Sounds about right. How much you pay for that car? $3 million. Why? Well, it's Steve McQueen.
So then the response is, "Oh, okay."
Checks out. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out. Okay, so the car that Steve McQueen drove has belonged to the Kiernan family since 1970s, when the car was purchased by Robert Kiernan of Madison, New Jersey, for $6,000. McQueen tried to buy it back at him, but Kiernan refused to sell it back.
It's a nice little return on investment, $6,000 to $3.4 million.
Yeah.
Yep. Doesn't say who bought it. Just says Sean Kierman, who sold the car for $3.4 million in 2020.
Well, it says here, according to ABC News, that McQueen's memorabilia tend to sell for a lot of money anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And dozens of McQueen's cars, motorcycles, and personal items, like a credit card and sunglasses, has been sold over the years.
Yeah. Now, he's famous for The Great Escape. I hadn't heard of him being in this movie before, but I kind of dig it. I can see why he was popular. He had blue eyes, handsome-looking devil. Does cool scenes where he's a tough guy. Kind of. I wonder if he started that trend. Nah, John Wayne probably, I'm assuming. Anyway.
Yeah, he's got like the tough guy demeanor, but not like overly. Like he's still just kind of like serious. He's serious in those.
Yeah, kind of dry, just cut and dry. This is the way it's going to be. No nonsense type of demeanor.
Yeah. So I noticed a couple things in movies. One, it'd be terribly easy to steal. So they go through and they got traveler's checks, right?
Yeah.
And they count out like, oh, this guy's loaded because he's got like $2,000 in traveler's checks. And I'm thinking, yeah. And they just stuff them in the envelope, hand them to the guy, walk away.
Yeah.
Assuming that nobody will pop any of those out there in $100 increments.
Right.
Which in 1968 is a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And all the evidence. They handled all the evidence and they're like, yeah, run this for fingerprints as I have it in my hand.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okie dokie. Boy, have times changed.
While I was watching, I was thinking, you know what? I'm not a huge fan of remakes because a lot of times they go more flop than on.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, man, I would love to see a remake of this one. This one, I think, if done right, it would be a great remake. Watching with the car chase and all that. I mean, that you don't just basically like almost a shot-for-shot remake. I mean, there's so many things you'd have to modify because, where we see everybody pull over to go to the payphone.
Yeah, gosh.
Now you just jump in the car and call on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that it stuck out because there are a few points during the movie. It's like, oh, I got to go over here and make a call. Or I got to stop the car and jump out.
I was thinking the whole airport scene was kind of silly.
Yeah.
In today's time, though, I mean, think about it. A guy jumps out the back of an airplane, runs across the tarmac, hides, runs back across the tarmac, and gets back in with the general population.
Yeah.
That today you'd be shot 20 times and arrested after that, and then probably publicly executed after that.
Yeah. And what I thought was funny was when they said that they notified the security guard.
Yeah, call security guard.
Yeah.
It is one guy literally at an airport.
Yeah. I'm going,
who's watching the rest of this airport while this cat's running around aimlessly? The security guard. And then, it's funny how all the phones linked direct to whoever they wanted to call.
Yeah.
How's that happen?
They just worked.
Yeah. I saw him dial 0 on one of them. He's like, yeah. And the guy walks over, picks up the phone. He's like, okay, yeah, it's me. I'm like, uh-huh. And you're right. Go get the security guard.
Yeah. So when the giant airliner taxis just above Steve McQueen's head, that was Steve McQueen. There wasn't a stunt double being used to run through there.
Yeah.
And producers, he was asked if producers couldn't find a dummy. McQueen replied, they did.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
Did you guys notice the budget?
No.
I have no idea.
Want to guess?
Well, they only used 4 cars. Can't be that much.
Yeah. What was the car back then? $2,000?
Probably.
Yeah. 10 million.
All right, Dave.
1968. I'm gonna say like 4 million.
You're right. 4 million.
Bam!
Wow.
I mean, Joe, times. I mean, back then, 4 million's
Yeah,
like
but they had
a trillion right
yeah,
now.
Yeah, but they had to pay for the security guard.
It's not free.
And they only had 4 cars. I mean, can you imagine how many cars the Fast and Furious movies go through?
Okay.
Those budgets are probably
Okay.
huge.
Well, I'm gonna spin the time back a little bit.
Mhm.
The Dukes of Hazzard. Look how many charges they went through.
Well, that's each week they're wrecking it, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
This is just one movie.
You know, today's budget could handle that kind of, that many
Yeah.
cars, but I guarantee they didn't go. The Fast and Furious went through as many cars as like the Dukes of Hazzard, which is in around the same time period as Bullitt.
So it's funny, we're talking about the cars. So the director wanted speeds of 75 to 80, and they got up to 110.
Wow.
Which is, you could kind of tell they were moving.
Yeah. Yeah. They wouldn't let grass grow underneath.
They were
their feet.
denied permission to film on the Golden Gate Bridge,
Really?
Yeah,
I wonder
even-
why.
but they're allowed to go on southern San Francisco. Interesting.
Yeah, it bugs me if there's a car chase in a movie and you can tell they're not really going that fast.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
always bothers me. They try to.
It bothers me when they're driving and you can see the background behind them doesn't match.
Yeah. The green screen doesn't.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh boy. And you know what my pet peeve? Motorcycle movies. So they have a 4-stroke motorcycle and a 2-stroke, and they always mess it up. I don't understand how in the world you can screw that up, but they do.
They figure it out. They
Oh,
figure out a way.
I'm just like, has nobody watched this?
Is
You
that
know,
like the shifting mechanism or what?
just the sound of it. Like a
sound?
4-stroke sounds kind of like a diesel truck, and then a 2-stroke sounds like a high-pitched weed eater.
Okay.
And even the latest movies, like shoot, what was the last one? Oh, they had several, like the Supercross one or whatever. Let me look them up real quick. So there was this whole thing, and we're in the motorcycle community, but this whole thing of like motocross movies, they always talk about how they're going to do this one for real because the rest of them suck. No, this one's going to be good, we promise. And
They screw it up every
they
time.
screw it up anyway. The World's Fastest Indian was pretty good, but man, what's the newest one? It's about a guy that goes over and he wants to be a soldier, so he's a soldier because he can ride motorcycles. He's got a cool job. He gets blown up, hurts his leg, comes back home, jumps into the professional motocross scene and just starts winning money because that's what you can do. But I have to look it up a little more here. Berman's Story or something like that. That's what it is. But okay. 20 best. So, it's fairly new. Yeah, okay, here we go. Bennett's War, 2019. So we're talking just a couple of years ago. Bennett's War, great job by the actors, great job by the stunt people and all that. But they have shots of a race where the sound doesn't match because there isn't a single 2-stroke in the race.
Yeah.
But you can hear 2-stroke engines. And I'm just like, somebody slapped the sound guy. I mean, in this day and age, you can't figure that one out.
Well, they're probably thinking, well, who will notice? Well, we know at least one person did.
And then back in 2005, they did Supercross, where everybody in the motorcycle industry is like, this is going to be awesome. We brought in professionals. Same thing. I'm just like, what in the world? Anyway. So that's what I did like about this movie. The sounds matched. You could hear the tires screeching. They matched. The cars sounded like they should.
And it was all in the realm of possibility of believability.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They didn't go. They didn't go the Chuck Norris route of Bullitt getting in a big shootout and he shot 30 guys with a single shot. And
I did think that part was funny. Did you guys notice that?
What's that?
The gun, like he didn't pull his gun out and use it until the very last scene. if I'm chasing a cat through a basement of a building, I'm gonna have my gun out.
I never.
He
paid
put
much
his hand in his pocket at one point.
Yeah.
And he kind of pulled it out a little bit and looked around the corner, but after that, he just chased the guy.
Now, one thing I do have issue with was when McQueen was when Bullitt was chasing the guy through the hospital, and he goes down in the basement, and it's like in the physical therapy area.
Yeah,
He looks to the left, and the guy's literally right there.
Right
in front
there, yeah.
And he did not see him. Now, that room didn't look dark enough
I
to
kind of
justify
assumed it was
it.
just because it was dark.
Yeah, but from the looks of it, it didn't look dark enough to justify that.
Yeah, that
he
he
didn't
wouldn't
see.
see him.
Yeah.
I agree, because I was like, he's looking right at him.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah.
But he didn't have his gun out, so
So I'm going now. Listen, I believe that he's this great cop up to this point, but now if he's really searching out for that guy, he's literally within 2 feet of him, and if the room was pitch black, okay, that's believable. But when there's lights on in the background and there are lights on there for intentionally not an accidental stage light, I'm sorry, I'm not buying what you're selling.
So, my usual question: when you think of the movie Bullitt now, what scene's going to stand out for you?
Oh, the car chase.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what stood out for me.
The part where he locked up his brakes and missed the turn and reversed back, which was a complete accident, that stands out in my head. And that car sounded good.
Yeah.
And the Dodge Charger sounded good.
Now, one thing that I will think of that was completely wasn't intentional. Cena and I was watching it, and when Bullitt pulls down and parallel parks on the hill there. So he goes, "Can you imagine trying to parallel park on a hill like that?" I said, "No, I'd have parked in that parking garage literally across the street."
Yeah.
I was like, that's one thing I never thought of was trying to parallel park on an incline like that.
Yeah.
Your e-brake better be working pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess with that, you're supposed to like turn your wheel
towards the curb,
so that if it did kick out, it would roll towards the curb.
Yeah.
Your car. Hey, I remembered something from Driver's Ed.
There you go.
Years ago.
Good job to Mr. C.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, $4 million budget, $42 million at the box office.
Nice return on investment right there.
Yeah. His girlfriend, what was her name again, Joe? Jacqueline Bissett?
Let me pull it up here.
That's so funny because I don't know. She had a role in it, and at first I wasn't even sure what her role was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam, she had an important part.
Was it Kathy?
I don't know. He never really said her name. I didn't even know it was your girlfriend at first.
I think it was Kathy, played by Jacqueline Bissett.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I first thought he just lived by himself. Because you never really seen her around, and then all of a sudden she just kind of showed up out of nowhere. Because when he was at the grocery store and picked up all those TV dinners, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. He lives by himself. He's not married.
Well, I just
She's still doing movies.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing I've ever heard of, but still doing them. Yeah, and he's going in. I thought maybe she was just some sort of crime lab type person, or like
Right.
he's just talking to her, and then
Yeah. It seems professional until it doesn't.
yeah.
Huh. Well, she did a movie I didn't even know existed. It was released in 2017. It was 9/11. It stars Charlie Sheen and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
And it's about the Twin Towers. I didn't even know that movie existed, because the last one I knew of was World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage.
And wasn't there like a
Flight 93.
Yeah, they did a movie on that too, I think.
Yes. Oh, she was on Nip Tuck.
Nicolas Cage, has he ever made an appearance here on this show?
I don't think he has. Somehow he hasn't.
Jim Carrey's yet to make an appearance as well, I think.
Yes, and I'm a fan of Jim Carrey's work. So there's a lot of good actors that we hold in high regard that haven't made an appearance yet.
Yeah, I noticed Bullitt is rated PG /M, so it's like PG with some mature content.
Yeah, kind of like a PG-13 almost. Which I can see that. I mean, because it wasn't, with it being a 60s movie, there wasn't like a bunch of foul language and stuff like that. And it wasn't even really, it was kind of more of a serious movie, you think about it. There wasn't any comedy, and there wasn't any adult content other than probably the violence, the guns, the shootouts and stuff like that. But there wasn't, a bunch of nudity and foul language and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. So, man, what a good car scene.
Yeah, definitely a movie you could watch with like your younger son. Like, wouldn't be
Yeah.
totally terrible.
The only, the scene where the lady strangled in the hotel room is a little racy, but not bad.
Right. Well, and I guess the gunshot there at the beginning, one takes, shotgun blast to the head and the other one in the leg. That's kind of...
Didn't really get him in the head as much. This was one of the first movies where they used those exploding blood packets, though.
Really?
Well, you could tell because it looked like they just took a paintbrush and ran red paint down his leg. So that makes sense on why it looked like that. So, did you guys, and it could just be my short attention span, but did you guys find any spots, like more at the beginning than anything, like had a hard time trying to figure out the whole story?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
like the girlfriend deal. I was like, what role? And then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, she plays an important role.
Yeah.
Which is a complete curveball to the storyline.
Because I was sitting there and I was like, maybe I missed something, but like at the beginning, I had the first 20 minutes, I had a very hard time trying to get in the storyline, trying to figure out where everybody was in this puzzle.
Yeah.
So then I stopped the movie, went and looked up the plot of the movie, and it's like, okay, now I know where to start from. And then the action started kicking in, and it was getting really good. And then it wasn't. It was one of those, I didn't have a full grasp on how everything was playing out, but I went along for the ride anyway, and it was fun. And then, like you said, like the girl just pops up out of nowhere. It's like, wait a minute, I thought he was single because that's why he was buying the TV dinners at the market. I just okay, so I didn't miss something. Okay,
No, that's because she kind of was there or not, and then like I said, I was baffled because then they have this whole serious talk on the side of the highway after she sees the dead woman. She's like, "You have this darkness about you, and is that part of our deal?" And I was like, there was zero relationship issues until right then, and then all of a sudden it's a smack in the face of, wow, now she's really disturbed by him being a cop.
Yeah, because I was thinking, okay, either I missed something or we're going the route of the Room where you just randomly pops up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Bringing up the Room as a comparison. Wow. This movie's tanked.
Well, just randomness that makes absolutely no sense.
Woo.
Did I overstep my line there, Dave?
No.
I'm with you, Joe.
I'm with you. It makes sense.
I was totally confused at times in the beginning. They're throwing around so many names, like rapid fire. This guy, that guy. I'm like, who are all these people? I was trying to follow this stuff.
Yeah, it was almost the point like I would have welcomed them wearing the "Hello, my name is" stickers on their shirt.
Yeah,
figure out
gosh.
who's who.
So yeah, just a weird deal, and that's why I was like, you have this movie that's all about this whole mob, scene thing deal where you're trying to figure out who actually robbed the mob and how it's all playing out and what's going on there, and then it circles back to, oh, by the way, he's dark and mysterious and hiding this secret work life type bad issues from his lady friend.
Yeah.
And then it goes away.
Yeah.
You never hear about it again. At the end of the movie,
well, that's where I was getting.
Did he dump her? Did she dump him? What's going on here?
Well, that's where I got the comparison from the Room, because they showed that the girl's mom said she had cancer, and then that was it. It came and went, and that's the way Bullitt's. I'm going to assume it's girlfriend, because apparently it's not his wife. She just shows up out of nowhere and goes away just as quick as she comes, and there's no.
Wait a minute, wife? You think wife?
No, I said I'm assuming girlfriend. I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He didn't have a wedding ring on. I don't know. That is weird, because, for 1968.
That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming it's not his wife.
Right. That's what I'm just saying, 1968 having a... Huh. Seductress. You know what's crazy too? That they just let her roll up on the police scene.
Yes.
You know, she just runs in the door, standing there looking at it, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool."
Well, and
You know, and even the shooting in the airports is the same way. Everybody's standing around looking.
well, yeah, everybody. Yeah, it was like not a problem to be walking around an airport with a loaded gun.
I'd have been like, "Damn, I almost got shot."
Yeah.
Everybody else was like, "Oh, really? That guy dead?
I hate that.
I think I'll stand here in the crowd and watch."
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't like panic of people just flooding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I'd
just,
still be getting out of there. I'd still be running across the airport and trying to get out of the way of whatever's next anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Those people just standing around looking. Hey,
Well-
kid, turn your head a little bit, but you know, I'm gonna keep looking.
Yeah. Well, and the mother covers the kid's eyes after it all
After it all
done.
goes down,
Yeah.
yeah. Didn't try to shield him from any bullets flying around,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but by golly, don't look at it.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough blood. Now get over here.
Yeah.
Well, or was she afraid like the kid was going to get a stick and go over and start poking it?
Ugh.
Well, and the whole hospital thing, because, you know, I used to work in a hospital and I knew the whole patient privacy, all that,
Mhm.
and to seeing all that play out, it was just like,
Oh
that-
my
there
gosh.
is so,
Yeah, what
so
a
many
fiasco.
yeah, changes.
I like how it's, hey nurse, call the doctor and bring the crash cart. 5 minutes later,
Yeah,
they roll through with this little rinky-dink cart.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, you weren't getting saved back in the day.
yeah,
As far as following the characters, there's like 3 different guys that are just dark-haired guys with slicked hair. You're like,
Oh, they look the
which-
same, didn't
yeah,
they?
What
Yeah.
the heck guy is that?
yeah, and come to find out, like, not all of them's with one group, but like the one's one of the good guys, one's one of the bad guys, and the other guy, you determine where he falls in. It's so I'm glad I wasn't alone on that, because I thought that my short attention span had kicked in and I had missed some key point within there somewhere that I just didn't pick up on. Because I even stopped and I
Yeah.
seen, I said, because she pays way better attention than I do, and I make no bones about it.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I said, did I miss something? She said, no, because I'm just as confused. I said, okay, good.
I guess McQueen was a little bit of a pain to work with, according to some directors and producers. He
Really?
was combative
On this movie or
set.
just in general?
in general, but
Really?
was in such high demand that in 1974 he's the highest paid movie star in the world.
So it's one of those,
Really?
it's almost just worth the aggravation.
Yeah. King of Cool, some called him, nicknamed.
I could see that, just his demeanor in the movie alone. I could see him
Yeah.
in that time period.
I mean, he had that look about him, kind of the silent, cool, you know, James Dean look.
Yeah.
He died early though. Something happened.
Yeah, age 50. Cancer.
Oh man, bummer.
So Steve McQueen based Bullitt on San Francisco homicide inspector Dave Toshi, made famous for his work on the Zodiac killings. McQueen had a copy of Toshi's custom fast draw shoulder holster for the movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in my mind, this was a good movie, even though 1968 I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
So I think as a fan pick, good job.
Yeah.
I don't know who submitted that one, but good job. You know, as with any older movie, though, I'm really impressed. 1968 with the car chase scenes, the camera work. I can see,
The camera work was.
why this was
pretty unique.
one of the best
Yeah.
car chase scenes and why it was revolutionized the game.
He had won an Oscar for like film editing or something best film editing. Yeah.
I mean, I can see that. I just, you know, the acting, a lot of silence.
Yes.
Just kind of driving around around the city and
Well,
And
I was
chasing
mean-
the guy through a hospital. I mean,
Yeah, just in general, a lot of silence.
it
You know,
gave it a kind of slow quality for me at least. I thought I was like
yeah.
some parts dragged a little bit.
Well, that's like in the hospital scene. He's drinking milk and eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
yeah, who cares?
And well, I just
Yeah, okay, so I thought that was weird. So,
you just
so
I'm gonna
he's
hang
sta-
out and eat here and wait and see what happens.
Well, and leading up to that, he's walking down the hallway and just random nurse pops out behind a corner and goes, "Are you the man that hadn't had dinner?" And he goes, "Yes." And she just hands him that tray with the peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm going, "What?
Yeah.
Since when are you like just walking down the hallway and this lady pops out a corner? Are you hungry?" I mean, I get that at Sam's Club when they're trying to upsell you on like whatever today's meal special is that you want you to try, but never have I been somewhere that some lady just popped up with a tray of food. Hey, are you hungry?
Yeah. I wish that happened, but
Yeah.
but yeah, just like in the hospital, they're doing surgery, and it's just kind of like the sound of like surgical tools and clinking around and like just talking a little bit. The doctors are just kind of there for like a couple minutes going.
Yeah.
It's just a long surgery scene.
Yeah, the surgery. Yeah, I don't understand what the. I mean, I get the gist of the reasoning of the scene itself, but yeah, it went on way too long.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to watch you.
They're building suspense.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
But
sit,
there was no background music of building suspense.
Yeah, I don't have to sit there and watch you sew every stitch in. The first 3 stitches are fine.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, things were a little different the way they made.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a 2-hour movie. They
then.
could have easily not.
Was it 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
they
you
could've-
imagine like a similar style today? I mean, people with their attention spans.
Oh,
like,
Oh gosh, yeah.
Now-
The 10-minute car chase with no background music
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they
they'd
could have.
walk out. They go, what the heck is this? Somebody
Yeah.
forgot to put the music in this.
Well, in like the surgical scene and the autopsy, the drag out on the autopsy.
gosh, yeah. So, all right, you guys ready to rate this baby up?
Let's do it. I'll go medium. Nothing wrong with it for what it is, and yeah, some highlights.
That puts me in a tough spot.
I'll take a medium.
I was thinking large just because of the quality, the car chase scene, that part of it, but you're kind of right. The last thing you brought up there was kind of the dragging out of the long scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if someone asked me, hey, would you recommend I watch this? I'd be like, It depends on the type of person you are. If you did it for the nostalgia and for the revolutionary camera work, yeah.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't know. We're so hard on the ratings. That's a tough one. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, to get a mop bucket, you got to... I mean, I think I'm the only one that's got a mop bucket so far, and I got several. But, but
don't break your arm by patting yourself on the
yeah,
back.
I know. But you know what I mean? It's so hard to get a mop bucket, which means a large. There's so many movies in the large category that have just been outstanding.
Yeah.
I don't know that this gets there, especially after what Justin just brought up of, just a 9-minute car chase scene with no background effects, even though it was fantastic for
right.
what it was.
Right.
Help me out, Joe. What are you thinking?
So I had my set coming in here, and then we've talked, and I almost want to up it, but I'm going to stick to my guns on this one, and I'm going overflowing small with an asterisk.
Really?
Yes.
What's the asterisk?
I think if this is one of those rare movies that you need to watch 2 or 3 times
Oh gosh.
to get the whole plot. Because we just sit here and discuss that there were just some random scenes, some randomness that just didn't make sense.
I couldn't watch it 2 or 3 times.
I can't either. That's why I'm giving it the overflowing small. Because I think it's one of those, if I go back and watch it again, it might make more sense, but I don't want to subject myself to that punishment.
Yeah. We're talking about the random scenes. The guy that he's supposed to switch places with in the hotel room, he climbed up on top of the bed. And it was like, no, I'm not
There's
looking.
a window right there.
How crazy was that? I forgot about that scene. But who climbs up on a bed to try to get away with somebody?
Yeah. And
Turn and get in a closet. Do something.
Yeah, the window's literally right there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had to
And they
walk-
comment about that. There's windows everywhere. The freeway, yeah.
Yeah, you had to walk past the window
A
to
fire
get to that
escape.
wall.
That was
Yeah.
all big issues in that room. Windows, fire escape.
Yeah,
And
literally.
he just climbs up on the bed and kind of turns away. He's like, I'm not looking. I know you're going to shoot me, but I'm not looking. Well, hide on top of the bed.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, all right. So,
Yeah, I mean,
overflowing
even,
small.
Even the 4-year-old knows to hide under the covers.
Oh, yeah, really. All right, well, I'm going to go with medium.
Okay.
Justin talked me into it. I can't go down to overflowing small. I can't go below medium just because the iconic scenes.
Right. Well, that's why I couldn't give it a small, because it wasn't a horrible movie, but yet just the randomness of stuff and just not adding up. It just kind of it bothered me. It took me out of the experience.
That makes sense. Okay, so 2 mediums, overflowing small. We're all in the same ballpark.
Oh yeah,
that's not bad, and not a bad movie.
No,
for what it is.
For what it is, yeah, that's kind of where
1968. I mean, all right. Well, Justin, you better have a home run lined up because your picks lately have been pretty shallow.
I do.
Okay,
I don't know. I can't even remember what you picked
Die
last time.
Hard.
Die Hard.
Really?
hated Die Hard.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Die Hard was my other one.
Okay.
Oh, The Push. That was a good one.
That was an interesting
The
one.
Push.
Yeah, that's where they did the
That,
social
yeah,
experiment.
I was thinking back to that one. That one was messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, all right. So
All right.
Justin, do you have a pick?
Yep.
You're gonna share it with us.
Yeah, we're going.
All right. What
Martial arts with Ip Man from 2008.
The
What
what?
is it?
Ip Man. IP space man. 2008.
What
Kung
kinda-
Fu movie.
What kind of trickery is this?
Switching gears. We haven't covered a fighting movie yet.
Yep, man.
Yep. And I figured you guys hadn't seen it, so.
Oh, jeez. It's got Mike Tyson in it,
Really? All right, so who's going to do the Mike Tyson impression next
and
week?
it's loosely based on a true story.
Very loosely, probably.
Okay, so where can we watch Ip Man?
Netflix.
Okay.
So it says Ip Man, also known as Yip Man, was a Chinese martial artist and grandmaster art Wing Chun. He had several students who later became martial arts something or others. It ended kind of there, but it's a martial arts biography film based on the life of Ip Man, a grandmaster
Well, they have
and a
like
teacher of Bruce Lee.
I'm gonna say they have three. They have 2, 3, and 4. So it must not be too. It must be a pretty popular movie.
Could be a disaster. We'll see.
So it said, offered a friendly sparring match with Ip.
I don't know, Justin.
He was
you brought
undefeated.
You brought us the Disaster Artist, which was based on The Room, and that got high ratings. So, you know, you're hitting more than you're missing. So, but yeah, you hit.
Yeah.
But
Been
yeah,
on a bit of a slide lately. So.
well, I don't know. You hit a good one in Mind of Days book with Die Hard, but yet you claimed that one was a miss. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Wow, this is based off of the deal that happened back in 1911 and 1916 when he was 24 years old. Huh. 1938. So all this is based off of early 1900s. He was born in 1893. Died in 1972. 79 years old. Huh.
We'll see. There's a
Yip Man, Yip Kai Man, Yi Win. Those are his others' names. How is Yippee Ki not one of them? His occupation, martial artist. Huh. So this is going to be about that, martial arts. Loosely based biography. Okay, we shall see, Justin. This could be another general type movie. Could be another Die
Max.
Hard. I don't know. Could be Mad Max. Who knows what you have going on here?
Yeah.
We shall find out, though. All right, well, everybody, you got 1 week. Track this movie down. Ip Man on Netflix. Watch it with us. If you don't have Netflix, steal somebody's password and
No, according to here, you can watch it on Plex for free.
okay, or watch it on Plex. Joe's got the background stuff. So Joe, if anybody needs the information, lay it on them.
Yeah. For more news and reviews, visit our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Been There, Watch That, and leave us a 5-star review. We're on all the major platforms, and follow us on social media at BTWT Pod. And let us know if we are, because we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and let us know if we are hitting dingers or if we're completely wrong on our reviews.
Completely off our rockers.
Yeah. Yeah, and if Howard the Duck really deserves
Oh,
as
it
much,
does. Don't even start with that.
as much heat as it does have.
It does. Jeez. All right, so gosh,
And all
gonna
of our-
end with Howard the Duck, really?
Well, hey, you got Mad Max in, so I had to get Howard the Duck in.
Ugh.
And all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
I don't even know how to follow up the Howard the Duck deal. That just ruined my day.
episode 7 if anybody wants to go
Oh, jeez.
I still say that's my favorite episode of all time. That is the most entertaining. I go back and listen to that episode, and I just laugh the entire episode.
Anyway.
Because Dave gets out his soapbox, and I mean, he preaches to the masses on this. It's an hour of me just getting raked over the coals, which I think is just hilarious.
It's good for you.
Oh, it is.
Anyway. All right, well, been there, watched that. Man, what a deal this week. The Bullitt 1968. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't have picked it to watch it on my own, so great job by the fan pick. Whoever picked that one, great job. That's a good catch. Good grab. I'm glad we rolled the dice and landed on that one. Kind of makes me excited again for the fan. What was the last fan pick? Anybody remember? I know we had to roll through like
Throw
five.
Mama from a train.
Yeah. That wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
But, you know, Bullitt, I kind of like, man, I almost hate that I gave it a medium. But
well, it was like, man, I wanted to give it a bigger ranking, but
kind of there.
It's just a hard one to.
It's all right. We'll see what the Ip Man brings.
Yeah.
So we can make fun of Justin again.
What were you thinking? This one.
How do you pick this thing?
I'll just.
Where does that show up anywhere on
Best
the radar?
movies on Netflix. Just Google it.
No way. That's how you found it? Best movies on Netflix.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
So, early prediction here, Justin. Do you think this is one of the best movies on Netflix?
It has a pretty good rating on IMDb. That was another factor. I'd kind of look and see what other people say.
Okay, so does Mad Max, but we said through that.
So Joe's
fire.
the computer guy. He rolls the
algorithms
and looks at the matrix and, you know, does his little.
I'm the Google guy.
Yeah, you're a Google guy, and I just go by based on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see the dynamic here. All right. Well, been there, watched that. Geez, you just got the behind the scenes version.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week for more of Justin's pick, the IP Man. Make sure you get out there, watch it, so you can follow along with us and pick it up. So, yeah, been there, watch that. Gave it a medium rating. Woo. Anyway, Bullitt. We'll be back next week with Justin's pick. Thanks for joining us, and everybody have a great week.